Welcome back. The Cape Flats is known as a gangster's paradise, but the Police Minister Bheki Cele is trying to change that. He's announced the deployment of almost 200 officers to crime hotspots in the Western Cape. That includes Khayelitsha, Kraaifontein, Delft and Nyanga. Cele says the Western Cape's high murder rate is simply unacceptable. Now, in the past week and over the long weekend, 100 people were killed either by stabbing or shooting. The Minister now joins me live from Cape Town. Minister, let's talk about these 197 officers that you've deployed. Given that it's so difficult to get a grip on crime there, do you reckon they will make a difference?
Yeah, they will definitely. Good afternoon to Shahan. They will definitely make the difference. They have. Since they came here, they've not been sleeping. Yesterday, the whole afternoon and the whole night until 2 a.m., they were at Khayelitsha. Not necessarily that a Khayelitsha will receive a completely negative crime. That's what we received this morning on starting of the weekend on Thursday. And today then we've moved to Kraaifontein. About 3-4 weeks ago in Kraaifontein, we lost 2 members of the South African Police Service. Last night again 2 people were shot, though we have managed to arrest the killers. It's an issue that we're going to stay with this place until we reduce, but our first prize is to eradicate crime in Cape Flats.
Yeah. So, Minister, the reason I ask whether 197 officers will make a difference is because, as you well know, the SANDF was deployed to the Cape Flats. We saw over 1,300 soldiers take to the streets. Did that have any impact on the crime levels in those areas?
Yes, it did. There was a reduction of crime in Cape Flats during the time, and unfortunately the soldiers are not like police, Shahan. Let's make that. Soldiers, they are giving the support to the police. Police are active. For instance, we know that today there are people that we need to go and hunt. Those people with warrants and all that. Police are there on physical acting and putting action on the matter. The extra almost 197 members that are here are working with the members that are based in Western Cape. It's not just only them. Extra cars, we've bought more than 50 extra cars, and we are getting more machinery in terms of transport and all that. That puts almost everybody on the beat and puts everybody on the house of a criminal. And indeed, as you move around here, even the reports that we received yesterday dealing with the issues of extortion and all those things, we are beginning to collect people, we are beginning to arrest people. People are beginning to be sentenced to long sentences. They're not getting bail, working together with the prosecution. 103, more than 103 people have been arrested. So we are making the impact.
Yeah. So you mentioned that 2 officers were killed execution style in Kraaifontein. Given how brutal these murderers, these gangsters are, what sort of force and protection will your officers have in these areas?
Well, the officers that are here are told, the Deputy National Commissioner Policing always emphasize the point, before they go, we all emphasize the point that they must remain buddy. You are brothers' watch, you are a sister's watcher. You must make sure that as you all go, you all come back alive. So they understand that. Those are techniques that they've been taught. Maybe you can't repeat them here, but they understand that one very well. They are fully armed, fully trained to work on such situations, and we've got quite a big group of the specialized officers to deal with those situations.
And of course, you'll have many residents who say that police actually protect some of these gangsters. Are you looking into that separately?
Well, that's a separate issue. The issue of most of the police that are here are police that are brought from other provinces. Yes, working with the police that are residents here. The question of the police that the residents will raise the issue that themselves involved in crime will forever deal with that. We have structures to deal with that. We have ACU, we have IPIT, we have other people that we work with like human rights. That is the reason why some of our own we shall not and we have not hesitated to arrest them and put them where they belong, where they choose to be. Because you are here by choice to be in blue and we keep you happily. We're happy to be with you. But if you choose to be orange, we'll happily put you there to be orange. It's a sad thing, but correct thing to do.
Yeah. So, Minister, if we can shift gears and talk a bit more about police and police brutality. We saw that come up a lot during the student protests. We saw one man die allegedly at the hands of officers. What do you say to that sentiment that we have heavy-handed policing in South Africa?
I hope one day Shahan will talk about the brutality of criminals against the police. Because we always talk about the brutality of the police and don't talk about the brutality of the community, who they believe, because we don't talk and condemn their brutality, they have a right to brutalize the police. As I'm saying to you, even this morning, one police was attacked here in Western Cape when was changing the puncture tire. And nobody speaks about those things. But having said so, on the day when Tumba unfortunately was killed at VET, there were 25 protests in the country on that particular day. 25. You only know one. Why do you know one? Because all other 24 were well handled. Once they are well handled, nobody speaks about those protests. Nobody comes back to say, well done, thank you very much. And in South Africa, last year, 2021, we had 4,000 violent protests, and we had 10,000 peaceful protests. But you don't hear these kind of people dying. It's because we have trained the police. Almost 700 police have been trained on POP. We have equipped them. We have bought them the proper equipment in terms of water cannon, in terms of the shields and all that. So it is something that we are calling South Africa, including the media, that this brutality of police that people see, let's talk about it, let's condemn it, those get punished. But also let's talk about the brutality. Let's talk about the brutality of the criminals against the police. Sometimes police doing their innocent job, but we are less talking about that, and we make South Africans believe that they're doing correct by being brutal and attacking the police.
Minister, I'm in no way saying that police are heavy-handed when it comes to criminals. I mean, we know that police officers are killed in the line of duty. We've reported on the execution-style murders of the 2 officers in Kraaifontein. So the public is well aware that these criminals themselves are brutal when it comes to police. I'm talking about the protesters, students who were peaceful, who were attacked, and one person ultimately died. That's the question I'm asking you about. I in no way am saying that criminals aren't brutal towards police. That's a totally separate issue.
As you say, Rasa, you have reported about these things. You have not condemned them. You have not blamed them. You have not called on the communities and the criminals to stop killing the police. I'm saying the police that get out of their way and do things that they're not supposed to do, even sometimes resulting in the bad death of Tumba, we act on that. You know that those police are arrested, 4 of them by IPID, they have appeared in court, they are on bail, that is process. At no stage when people do the wrong thing from ourselves and not act on those people. There are procedures internally, there are procedures legally, those things are happening. And we are calling on police all the time, work within the law. We're not going to stop that, and we'll continue with the training as Falam Commission has called on us to improve the training on those people. But what I'm saying, as yourself concede, you only report about the death of the police. We are not condemning and calling the stop on it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it should be condemned, and South Africans will condemn it as well. We obviously sympathize with police officers because they're out there protecting us. But when a civilian, an innocent civilian, is killed, allegedly at the hands of police, that's why you'll have South Africans upset.
That's why the government, the police themselves, the law itself acts on that matter. We are not, you know, I don't know. I think I was talking to somebody, I think it was a judge, to say that there is this issue of not recognizing the movement that have happened. Rashan, I grew up in the same city that you grew up in, Durban. I used to sleep in the bush every day, chased by the police, and nobody ever came to ask those police why I was chased. Many of my friends, they died, nobody was asked. Even the statistics, they started under this government. There were no statistics before this government, so we don't know how many people were killed. This government then put structures, several structures on that. It puts commissions, that's why the Reform Commission puts IPAD, human rights, ACU, and special courts to deal with these matters. It doesn't look like, while these things are happening, but somebody is trying to address these things. No cases that are put under the carpet. People are arrested, and that's public. They go to court, and we call on them to be punished when they get out of the law. The thing has changed to say, we're simply saying, you do the wrong, you do the time, it doesn't matter who you are. That's why we're calling police that within the law, they must do the protection of the people.
All right, so let's move to the lockdown regulations, Minister. Of course, you've come under fire on social media. And many people say that you were simply out there to enforce lockdown regulations instead of fight crime. What do you say to that?
Well, breaking regulations of the COVID is to commit crime. It doesn't matter which regulation. If you break the law, you are committing crime. Government comes with the law, comes with the regulations. The work of the police is not to make the law, it's to enforce the law. If you go to your 205, section 205 of the Constitution, sub 3, it tells you what is the job of the police. Part of it is to enforce the law. Police was just doing that, enforcing the law to enhance the safety of the people out there. And those people that police work on them to enforce the law are those people that are breaking the law. Are those people that they go, as they did in Soweto last week, Diepkloof and Pimville. They open the parties in the middle of the street at 2 a.m. and all that. They don't just end there. They throw the police, they injure the police. We took 2 police from Mitchell's Drift last week to hospital. And fully and in Western Cape, when the police, they come for compliance, they throw the stones, they burn the vans on those 2 places. Again, I repeat, there is no condemnation for those things. What people are saying is that police are harassing people. Don't talk about the police that are in hospital. Don't talk about the vans that are banned by those people who are drunkards. Some of them are 15, 16, 17, 14 years. And the community is not crying on those things. We say cry on the police, but also be corrective with the community.
So you reckon that these so-called drunkards and people who want alcohol are focused on you trying to crack down on that instead of crime itself? Is that something they're trying to deter your work and try to basically make it look as if you're more effective with lockdown regulations than fighting overall crime?
I would be mad if I say we can't fight crime and we'll forget about crime. That is our core function. Right? That is what Constitution is saying to us. But breaking the law, there is no less law when one is made. If the law said you go and sleep at 10, why are you on the road? When the law, you know that you must go and sleep. That's one. But also, the question of regulations and alcohol is also preventing crime. We have been saying this thing, and we say it all the time, and we shall say it. The murder, high rate of murder, the high rate of rape, the high rate of sexual assault of women is so much closely associated with alcohol crimes. If you don't fight alcohol crimes, forget about fighting rape, forget about fighting murder, forget about fighting domestic violence, because alcohol causes so much of that. So in fighting regulations that people must not be all over and drink and get drunk at everywhere, people must not abuse alcohol, we are also fighting crime, especially serious crime like murder and abuse of women.
Yeah, so then many people would argue that you were one of the ministers advocating for the ban on alcohol sales. Would you argue that's the reason why, because of the knock-on effects of alcohol abuse?
No, I've never advocated the ban of alcohol. If I was given a chance, I would ban it. But personally now, I don't have those powers. What I'm advocating for, South Africa got only 31% of people that are drinking alcohol. Out of 60 million South Africans, it's 31%. They don't drink, they swim. They bunch. They don't just drink. That's one. Secondly, we are number 6 in the world. We are number 6 in the world in terms of drunkards. So there's nothing wrong with people drinking social, having their wine. But to hit the bottle, it's only the bottle that must slip down before you go. We need to say to South Africa, please do right things. Please correct this thing. I went to the community called Orange Farm last week. Listen to this. There are 58 schools there. There are 6 clinics there. There are 38 churches there. There are 331 chipins. 331 chipins and 6 bottle stores. No, 11 bottle stores. All these things, the churches, your clinic, the schools and everything put together, they are less than chipins. What do you expect out of that community? What do you expect out of that community?
Yeah. No, I get your point. Definitely get your point. It is a matter of concern.
Please do get my point.
I got you. I heard you loud and clear. So then the next question would be responsible drinkers who say that they don't do any of that. I mean, you might enjoy a drink or two, but you do it responsibly.
That's a call we all make. I also make that call. Look, I buy very expensive alcohol in my house. If you come to my house, I hope when you're in Durban, please visit my house where I stay. I'll invite you. I saw they bought one very expensive whiskey, 18-year-old whiskey to buy a certain prosecutor in Mpumalanga. So I buy those things. I keep very serious stuff in my house. You come, you drink it. When you get drunk, I chase you away, and I don't give you a bottle to go with away. It's for you to socialize, sit down with me. I don't drink. FBC, drinking your VO, Hennessy, Excellence, everything. I drink my water.
Yeah. I'll take you up on that offer, Minister. I'll let you know when I'm in Durban. I want to end off on a lighter note. I know I've taken your time. I know I've taken your time and you're busy. Let's talk about your fashion sense, your iconic hats. What's happening there? How many hats do you have?
Well, I don't have too many hats. I have been saying that I have only 43 hats.
Yeah. And it's a fashion statement for you that's here to stay. Not going to change anytime soon.
I don't think that is a fashion statement. I don't know how I got where I am now to have so many hats. When I see them, I buy them. I started somewhere and somebody said, this looks good to you, and everybody likes to keep something that looks good on him.
All right. We'll see you in your hats throughout the country doing your job. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll thank you for the hard work that you and your officers are actually doing.
Yes, they are here in front. They are, from here, they are going to squeeze the oxygen out of criminals and make sure that criminals give the space to the people of the Republic of South Africa. As you see here, we'll be working with them until the next morning. So I hope South Africans begin to understand that we care for them, we'll work with them, and make sure that they stay safe. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Police Minister Bheki Cele, speaking to us there about several issues in South Africa.